Welcome to the AMSDynamics.com podcast. AMSDynamics.com. Let us be your dynamic business solution.
Boom, here we are.
Welcome, welcome.
This is Ash.
And this is Tiny.
We are with AMS LLC, AMSDynamics.com.
Let us be your dynamic business solution.
Yeah, and this is part 3 of a
Podcast series. Yeah.
5-part?
Yeah, 5-part series.
5-part series.
Yeah.
And this is startup. Okay, so you got a startup business idea.
Absolutely.
And we've already talked about your startup. And last episode was about ideas.
Mm-hmm. Because everybody's got that idea that's kind of rattling around in their mind that they think
I have
themselves.
this great book. I have this great song. I have this great invention. I have this great business model.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get your idea. The next step is problem solving.
Well, the first problem that you end up having to solve is that you have an idea. You say, that would make a great business. That would make a great product. That would make a great service. Immediately, your brain is going to push back against you right away.
What do you mean?
Because you're not good enough.
Oh, imposter syndrome.
It's imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it. Immediately, you're not good enough. Other people own businesses. But think about it like this. If I said to you right now, you know what? There's the Wachovia building downtown. Oh, let's not call it Wachovia building.
Wachovia?
Yeah,
what was it, 1994?
I reached right back down into history for that one. There's a big, tall building downtown. I want you to go down there. Just run down there and buy it for me on your way home.
Oh, brain. No.
Okay. Well,
how's that going to happen?
Somebody bought the building, right?
Somebody did.
Somebody owns it. So why is it that you can't? Because your brain always tells you, oh, that's what somebody else does.
So that's the first problem of problem solving.
That is the very first problem of problem solving. I think I don't know if it was so we talked about on one of these podcasts, we talked about Mel Robbins and how she says that your brain's primary function is to keep you safe. And what you are doing right now is keeping you safe. You're safe and you're comfortable. You're sitting in the chair, you're watching SpongeBob, you're drinking a Coca-Cola, you're safe.
All right, so real quick. So we're talking about buying the Wells Fargo building. Okay, that's a big leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
And to use that example would be kind of a disservice because we can say, I want to start an ice cream truck.
No, I'm using that example as I'm using that to illustrate the fact that when you could say to almost anybody you see on the street, I want you to buy this $4 billion building. And they're like, okay, stupid, get out of here.
Hey, we thought.
But the fact is, somebody is able to do that.
Okay.
Somebody had to do that. Somebody or some group of somebodies owns that.
But what if it's just writing a book? And what's the problem with that?
There's no problem with that except for the fact that your brain will tell you that you're not good enough to write a book. You're not creative enough. You don't know. You don't have a good enough vocabulary.
Okay.
You just don't have what it takes. And from what Mel Robbins has told us is that the reason your brain tells you that is because if you get out there, if you put yourself out there, you're changing your current situation, and your current situation is safe. So if you put yourself out there, you're exposing yourself to liability, to discomfort, to potential danger. And so your brain says, no, just stay right where you're at. Everything's fine. The way she said to solve that was to count backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You allow yourself 5 full seconds intentionally to feel whatever that feeling is, to feel that desire to be comfortable, to feel that desire to not do anything, and then to acknowledge that I'm feeling it intentionally, and when I hit 1, I'm going to leap from this chair and I'm going to go do this thing that I know I want to do.
Okay. So it's like getting out of bed in the morning to go work out.
Very much like getting out of bed to go work out.
It's warm. I'm comfortable. If I get up, I got to get dressed for the cold, go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
5, 4,
Yep.
3. At 1, I'm jumping out of bed. Let's do it.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
And here I go. Yeah.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
I got you now.
And so that first problem, that's going to be the first obstacle that pops up, is that immediately when you decide, you know what, I have this idea, I believe in this idea, I'm gonna do it.
Gotcha.
Your brain will say, no, you're not. Why don't you let somebody else do that?
Or you'll tell yourself, well, somebody else has already done that.
Somebody's already done it. I'm not good enough to do it.
Man.
I do not have what it takes to do it. I'm not smart enough. I'm not, whatever it is, I'm not strong enough. I'm not creative enough. I don't have the tools. I don't have the money is always a big one.
Well, we came across that starting this podcast. It's like, there's already another podcast out here that talks about this stuff. But then you do the leap of faith. Like, well, we can do it better.
We can do it better.
We can do it the best.
We can do it better. We can do it differently.
Yeah.
There are people out there who may not get the real good meat of the message from another podcast, but
Yeah.
they get it from us.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and so you can do it differently from a different perspective. You bring different experiences to the table. It's no different than why would you start a pizza place? There's all these pizza places out there.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you go to a More's Pizza, and then you go to Sir Pizza, and then you go to Domino's Pizza, and then you go to Pizza Hut, those are very different experiences at each of those places.
Yeah, yeah. And
And so-
each of them are equally good.
They've got their merits. They've got what, and certain people really are into this one. Certain people are really into that one. But you can enjoy all of those different things.
Okay, so that's the first problem to solve
To-
with an
the-
idea
yeah.
in a startup.
It's an obstacle that you've got to solve. But then there are more concrete problems that pop up.
Right.
Okay, so I want to write a book. Well, now you have to sit down and actually flesh out the idea. You've got to type the actual manuscript.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to want to have somebody that you trust to present that manuscript to. Hey, will you read this for me
Yeah.
and tell me what you really think? Because you need to have somebody who's not a yes man or a yes woman. You need to have somebody who loves you enough to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you also need somebody who's got the grasp of grammar to be able to edit and proofread for you.
Yeah.
And so you need those things. And even at each of those steps, you've got to have the internal wherewithal to say, okay, I've poured my soul into this manuscript. I'm about to hand this to another person and let them peer into my soul.
Yeah. So you're thinking, okay, I'm thinking more physical problem solving. I got this book to write. Okay, I could write it. Oh, how am I going to get it published? How long does it need to be? How am I going to get this thing into a hard copy? Do I go to the library and print it off on their printer and put it together myself? Or that's the kind of problem solving I'm thinking.
The
But you're
beautiful
thinking
thing
of the
about
mental.
you have to overcome the mental before you can even
Yeah.
begin to approach the concrete out in
Yeah.
the world. But the problems that you're talking about, we are so blessed to live in a time like right now
Yeah,
where you
yeah.
can easily go to Google. You just said, okay, how do I get that published? Okay, you can go to Google and you simply Google publish my book, and you'll have dozens of print on demand, vanity publishing, actual brick and mortar publishing houses that are out there that you could submit to. It's all there. That information is right at your fingertips. Okay, well, how do I make it into a hard copy? Do you even have to make it into a hard copy?
Yeah. Digital copy.
Because we've talked about Kindle Direct Publishing.
Yeah.
You simply make your manuscript using the template that they have. You upload it to Amazon, and then when somebody buys your book, Amazon prints it and sends it to them and then sends you a couple of bucks. That is the simplest, most cost-effective way for you to get a book out of your heart onto the page.
Well, I know, this podcast has gone through these steps. Startup. Okay, we want a podcast. We want to talk to people about business, entrepreneurship, how we can help them, resources they can use, ideas they can use to help grow their business.
Because we've got a lot in our gray matter
Right.
that we want to get out there to bring
So
value.
that was the idea. That's the idea. How do we do it? Okay, problem solving. First, what are we going to talk about? Second, equipment. How are we going to do it? 3, how are we going to get it out there? That's problem solving. That's where I really stepped up, I think. You
did all the researching, the different equipment,
Yeah.
finding reviews, determining which is the most the most quality equipment for the recording.
Yeah.
But that's also cost effective. We had certain requirements. We needed it to be portable. We can record here, record there. We want to record on location. We want
Yeah.
to record in
Oh,
our
yeah.
own studio.
So
all that stuff came
That was
up.
the physical problem solving part of this podcast.
Yeah.
And so that's an important part because, what's the next step? The next step is overcoming fear.
Overcoming fear would be the next one.
Okay. Well, you can't get that part unless you get the problem solved.
Yeah. Well, you have to identify the problems that need solving, and because remember, you've got your idea and your problem solving, and you've got your overcoming fear. You've got to get these things in line before you even take the first step.
Yeah.
Because if you say, I've got an idea, and then you run out into the street screaming your idea.
I have an idea.
Yeah, that's not effective.
Yeah.
Right? But if you have an idea and you've got it close to the vest and you're not running out into the street and you're not screaming about it, however, you do not address any of the problems that come up. What if your idea is you have a phenomenal idea for some type of let's say a training facility for whatever it might be.
Right.
And you want to train them in person. You want to teach ballet. You want it to be in person. You want to have your classes. Well, now you need a building. You need the building to be equipped, outfitted, and furnished in certain ways. You need to have a certain type of marketing, get your words out. So now you've got financial considerations, real, concrete, actual numbers that you can put. This is exactly how much money I'm going to need.
Yep.
And now
you
you've
can
got
go
to
to the
find
next
it.
step. Yeah.
But if you don't get those problems identified up front, then it doesn't matter. Even if you're fearless, but you haven't identified what problems you need to overcome. Even if you're fearless and you've identified potential problems with starting a business, but you did not have an idea.
Yeah.
These things have to be in line before you take that first step.
Yeah. Because, I've had great ideas, like just example, I'll just make something up top of my head. Hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we start up a training facility, like you said earlier? Hey, we can get our license and teach this stuff.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now, and it goes away because I have it set down and problem solved.
Right.
Okay, so it's going to cost this much money for a training facility. Okay, I need this to be certified. Insurance. Okay, it's going to be this number. How do I get that money? All this stuff. Who am I going to get to run the facility? And the repairs. Problem solving. This is the number I need. These are the equipment I need, the people I need for these positions. And then we go to the next step.
Then you go to the
which
next
is
step
podcast.
because at that point when you're sitting there and you're looking at it and you say, okay, I need this amount of money, I need this staff, I need these members of staff because these are things that I'm not qualified to do or I do not know how to do. And then I need this type of a building and facility. I need these types of vehicles. And at that moment, it all sinks in. It's like, I guess I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I guess I'm doing this. Now the fear sets in and we're going to have to overcome that fear.
Yep.
We'll talk about that in the next podcast. But being able to identify those issues, I need this amount of money, I need this amount of equipment, this amount of staff, this amount of vehicles. When you identify it, you know what you're looking at and what you have to overcome. This podcast is brought to you by AMS LLC out of Greensboro, North Carolina. AMS LLC is a full-service business consultation firm that provides tax services, accounting, and bookkeeping and payroll. And then there's a division that Ash and I work in, AMS Dynamics. We provide creative solutions, including logo design, videography, photography, website, social media, anything that you need for your creative solutions for your business.
That's right. On our website, if you go to amsdynamics.com, you want to book an appointment for any of those things or a consultation, check it out. Book now up top corner. Set up a schedule with us. Come on to the office, or we can do it via Zoom or by phone call or however is more convenient for you.
And the website has a comprehensive list of all the services that we provide, along with a description of each one. And you can contact us and find out more information about it. Check out amsdynamics.com. So when you identify those problems, you have specifics that you can start to address.
Yeah.
One of the diseases that comes in is that when problems come up, a lot of people simply give up because it's a problem. You know what? I don't think I'm supposed to be doing this because this problem came up. If you're going to start a business, if you're going to release a product, if you're going to start providing a service to bring value to the community, congratulations, your natural order of existence now is problem solver. You will spend all of your time putting out fires because that's just the natural order of it. And I don't mean that in a horrifying way. I really don't want people to be discouraged or to be put off by it. It's the simple fact that things that, because you have experiences that you bring to the table, and so you know about certain things, but there are going to be things that you don't know about when you go to organize your company as a, let's say, some form of an LLC. That's great, but then what requirements does your specific state have? For the sake, because you organize as an LLC, you're good to go. You're with the Secretary of State, but what downstream requirements does your state have for taxes, for sales tax, for sales and use tax? All those considerations come up that you weren't thinking about before. You're like, look, man, I just wanted to have a food truck.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man, I got to get the thing inspected. I got to get the health board to look at it. I gotta get the health inspector in here. It's like I just want to sell tacos.
And
on my truck.
For food trucks specifically, let's talk about that one. I think we can agree. Everybody knows that you got to have the health inspector to come in and check and make sure your food truck is good to go. Do you have to have the fire marshal come in? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know, but that is a problem that could come up that you might have to have that taken care of before you're able to operate your food truck.
That's the beauty of an entrepreneur is that we're problem solvers already.
As long as, because that's why we're doing the podcast.
Yeah.
We want to make sure people recognize, congratulations, put on your cape. You're a superhero at solving problems right now.
You are.
You have begun the process.
Now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, welcome to the Legion. We are going to start solving problems.
Yep. And so, so the problem solving part is fundamental because you can have an idea and throw money into it and just go for it.
Yep.
And you're going to have more problems than you're going to have profit, I guess.
Yeah, kind of a tangential example of that would be Sylvester Stallone had the idea for Rocky. He wrote it. He had the
Yeah.
idea. Time and time again, people offered to buy his idea. Yeah, we'll pay you a small amount of money for your idea, and then we'll go run off and we'll have somebody else be the actual entrepreneur to do this. Now, he didn't want to do that. He stuck to his guns. No. I'm the entrepreneur here. This is my business that I'm starting. And he did. Rocky is a phenomenally successful brand that he started because he stuck to his guns and wouldn't sell that idea. There are people out there who are like, oh, I've got a great idea, and then sell their idea. They say, all right, I'm not good enough to do this idea myself. I don't have what it
solving.
takes.
It's not me.
I'll sell it to somebody else, and then somebody else runs off and makes a bunch of money with it. It happened to me years and years ago. I started a business.
Right.
Yes, I did. I started a supplement company, and the supplement company, the problem-solving aspects of it, I wasn't prepared for. I was brand new to the entire. This is well over a decade and a half ago. And the problem-solving aspects were things that I was not prepared for at the time. I had not properly educated myself, and so I allowed myself to get overwhelmed, and I sold my ideas. And I mean, these were great ideas. They were great branding ideas. They were great formulas. They were great products. I sold the rights to the products to another guy who had experience in the problem-solving. And let me tell you, if he didn't, he just retooled a couple of things, made some small adjustments, because he knew about the problem solving, and he was off to the races, making tons and hand over fist making money off of my idea. Now, I do not have any resentment. I know I made that decision. This is what I did. That's how it went, and that's okay.
Will Smith says, what's that? Fail young, fail often?
I don't know what the quote is, but it makes sense.
Like that. Yeah, because if you've been a seasoned problem solver with your ideas, and his supplement company came about, and you're like, oh, you can't, I got you. I'll take it over and expand it because you're a seasoned problem solver because he had experience with the problem solving part of the ideas.
Yes.
You did not.
Exactly.
I didn't either with a few little things I've started. And now that I'm older, that's the way it goes. So
but
you
chose to educate yourself.
Yes.
Some people can get knocked down that one time and be like, I don't know why people do this. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But we chose to educate ourselves over the course of years, studying and learning how to communicate, how to problem solve, how to overcome fear, how to do these things, how to market, how to brand, primal branding.
Yeah.
How to do those things so that when the opportunity comes, we are prepared for those things. And so don't give up. Acknowledge that you're now a problem solver and be ready to solve those problems.
And the good thing about it, like you said, this is 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Think about now how, if you have a problem, how easy is it now to find solutions?
It's between the fact that, number one, internally we know, okay, you know what, the solution's out there, I'm going to go get it.
Yeah.
And number two, you've got the internet out there.
Yeah.
You can find it. I mean, come on. YouTube, are you kidding me? You can find anything from how to start your business and incorporate and do legal paperwork, out to branding ideas, out to marketing ideas, right on down to, I've got a headlight out. How do I switch the headlight in this car?
This is the golden age of entrepreneurship.
It's a golden age of information being available at your fingertips so that you can pursue entrepreneurship, you can start up a business, and you can do it in a way that you educate yourself ahead of time, and you don't have to go get an MBA at a college. Mm-mm. You don't have to sink $100,000 into a college education to be able to do this. You just like Goodwill Hunting said, you could have gotten this for $1.50 in late charges at the public library. Right now, you can do this a few hours on YouTube, and you can really learn a lot about any subject you want to learn about, and then pursue it.
Yeah.
Just have that confidence and that knowledge that problem solving is within you. You've got what it takes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we're here to help with AMS Dynamics. I know that that's what our mantra was. One-stop shop.
If you've got an idea, come through the doors of our firm and we will get you going.
We have the people and the expertise to help you with your idea, your problem solving, your overcoming your fear, your entertainment versus usefulness, or usefulness versus entertainment. We can get you through all the branding stuff we talked about in previous podcasts. We can help you with podcast, we have video, we can help you with website, we can help you with logo.
Everything from startup to success story.
Yes.
AMSDynamics.com. Come reach out to us.
Yep.
And if you're enjoying the podcast, feel free to click like on it or follow us and subscribe. It would really help us out. Either way, just being here is the greatest form of support. And take that next step. Start up your own business. Take that idea and really run with it. Mm-hmm. You have what it takes. I know. I believe in you. Ash believes in you. It's fantastic. From startup to success story, you've got what it takes.
Info at amsdynamics.com. And also check out amsdynamics.com. This is Ash.
And this is Tiny.
Thank you for listening.